We got started in Austin, Texas by Rick and Barbara Garsons, husband and wife, who founded the school in 2009. Now, Rick and Barbara have two twin boys that grew up playing tennis. They're very much a tennis family. In fact, they still play like father and son tournaments and everything from time to time. But anyways, the boys got very serious about tennis when they were around 13, 14 years old. And when I say very serious, I mean that they started training 4 or 5 hours a day on the court in the gym. They would have to travel for tournaments, sometimes out of state or out of the country, right? Yeah. And when you're that committed to your sport or whatever passion, it starts to get challenging to balance all the rest of life alongside it, right?
Yeah.
So the Garzas found themselves in this predicament where, on the one hand, they want to support the boys and their passion for tennis. On the other hand, they said, you're going to go to university, you're going to get a good education. This is not negotiable, right?
Right.
So probably some of your listeners too can relate to this story, right?
I would assume.
Yeah. Or if they're young athletes themselves, it can be very challenging to be competitive in today's athletic world and get good grades in school and go on to university. So Barbara's the education veteran. She's worked in the sector for over 40 years. And she looked around for schools that could offer two things at the same time. One, flexibility, so the boys can keep training and competing. And two, quality, so that they're getting a good education that's going to actually prepare them for success at the university level.
Right.
What she found at the time is that didn't exist. And, bringing all of that knowledge and expertise from her experience in the education world, she said, look, I'm just going to do it myself. I'm going to start AESA. That was in 2009. She knew other families in the tennis world that were stuck in the same predicament.
Right.
And that's how AESA got started. The way that we accomplish that goal of meeting both flexibility and quality is by, I'm just giving away all the secrets. No, I'm kidding. It's by keeping our classes really small on purpose. And when I say really small, I mean, a big class at AESA might have 8 or 9 kids in it. And a small class at AESA might have 1 or 2.
Right.
This is sorry, what?
Right. No worries.
Oh, yeah. So this model allows us to give a lot of personalized attention and support, because even if you're the best teacher in the world, if I put you in a classroom with 30 students and you might have 5 or 6 of those a day, you just don't have enough bandwidth to provide that same level of attention and support. So that's what sets us apart from most schools and what makes us special. I will feel like I should point out that we're not just a school for athletes only. We'll take academics. We have performing artists. Austin's a big music city. We've got a few ballet dancers here. So whatever our philosophy is, whatever you're passionate about, you shouldn't have to choose between your passion and getting a good education. We want you to be able to have both at AESA. So that's how we got started, and our story. Again, it will probably relate with some listeners, whether they're young athletes or parents of young athletes. And what we're doing today, I touched on this a little bit with my personal story, right? So I would join in the second school year, and in 2015, through the tennis world, everything happens through the tennis world. So through the tennis world, the Garzas met the owner of SA International Business School, which you're working with them, and I met you here on our campus, right?
Yeah,
so they met,
fun,
yeah, they met Jordy through the tennis world. He's a former tennis pro. And they were explaining to him what AESA is and what it's all about in Austin. And he said, you guys, you have got to come to Barcelona. We have all of these international students pouring in from around the world to train, especially with football and tennis.
Yeah.
And a lot of these kids, they want a school program that's in English. Almost all of them are kind of looking towards the U.S. for the next step, so they can get a scholarship to a U.S. university, continue their sports there and everything. Right. So it makes sense, and it made sense to the Garzas, enough sense at least for them to offer the role to me, and they sent me out here in 2015. Like I said before, the first thing we did was set up ACE Prep International, our online school, get that accredited, approved by the NCAA and all that.
Right.
Then I started a blended learning program in 2016 where students enrolled in our online school would come to campus, receive face-to-face instruction in a traditional classroom